Hi, I'm going to show you how to tie a stonefly nymph. This stonefly, the number is MP36. You can find all the material on the bottom here and all the tool request on the bottom here. By the way, this book got all the different patterns that I've been tying with CDC over the last 25 years. So it's a pretty big pattern, size 10. And I start with the tying thread black. I will just prepare a little bit of floss in order to split the tail. So I cut a little amount like this that I'm going to tie at the end of the body, like this. A few wraps under. And then I use one of my favorite material, which is the coque de leopardo, because it's already segmented. And stonefly got quite long and stiff tails. So you put like this, I adjust the length, fix the tail, and use the floss to split the tail that way. See, it's perfectly split. Now I incorporate all the component because I want to have a pretty big body, and I even return with the floss that I'm going to cut now. Okay, so the base is relatively thick. I incorporate the CDC black, and I will use a little bit of a wire to increase the segmentation. So I take it this way and I will incorporate that in the same time. I will leave that on the side and we will use it later on. Okay, now I use the hackle plier in order to create the body shape. For that I will grab the large section of the CDC, trim it first, and then twist and wrap around the hook shape to create the body. I will probably end the body just a little bit more than half of the hook shank now. Okay, so now I secure the thread, few wraps in front to secure the thread. Now I trim off all the things that I cannot incorporate in this process, and in order to increase a little bit the weight and to increase the effect of the segmentation, I use the wire that I am going to put through up to here. Okay, now the body is done. I will put the eyes, but before the eyes I will put a little bit of floss to make kind of a wing case. So let's take the floss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I just want to remind you that this is a quite big pattern, size 10. So put quite enough material to make later on the wing case. Okay, turn it back. And now you can incorporate the eye. You make several wraps like this and several wraps the other way in order to keep the eye on the top. Okay, now we are going to use the CDC. For that I'll use quite large feather that I'm going to tie first like this. I trim the excess and use the plier, and we are going to make kind of a thorax and legs by just wrapping around after the eye. Okay, And now we're going to use a second feather in order to do that, but just in front of the eye. So trim the excess, and for that I will use one of those magic tool clip in order to collect only the fibers without having the stems. So I just go like this, so like this, and then I will split the thread, and when I do that, I can now incorporate the alcohol substitute that way. Turn a little bit my fingers and then use the bobbin holder to make several turns. I bring them on to where I need them, and I will put some more on the front like this. Okay, now the only thing we have to do to end up is to use the floss. So you put it on front, and then you just fix it this way. When it is strong enough, you lift, you put it under the eyes, so you are free to trim the excess that way. Now you use your finisher, a few wraps on front and few wraps under the remaining floss, just close to the eye one time, and a second time right under, like this as well. Okay, and the work is done. You have too many material here, so you can trim it off as you like. You just need to leave the illusion that there is some legs all around, and to keep them quite long enough that they can move. Life is very important in our pattern. Life is food. Thank you for your attention.